Alright, welcome. So today we have Susano here. He is a Japanese assassin, and this is the SMITE public test server, so just keep that in mind. Things are subject to change when he comes out and patches beyond that. As far as, his ability scalings, cooldowns, I don't know, he might be nerfed. His abilities are really strong. But yeah, so just a quick first impressions video, just showing people that haven't seen his abilities and just kind of show that off, and kind of my opinions on how he's going to stack up against other assassins. So let's take just a quick look at him for those who haven't seen him yet. Do a little quick body preview. He doesn't really show his face too much. He's kind of like Nemesis. You can kind of see his face there. He looks pretty cool. He's kind of short, but he's an assassin. So let's get what actually matters here is the abilities, starting with his passive. So every time he uses an ability, obviously it goes on cooldown, and with that being said, his cooldown abilities give him a movement speed buff of 4%. Now, obviously this does stack up to 4 times since you do have 4 abilities, so that's a pretty neat passive. He just gangs passive movement speed, basically. So that's really handy for him being an assassin. However, he has plenty of other movement abilities. His Storm Kata, it has 3 attacks to it. It's kind of confusing at first. So his first attack, he hits all the enemies in cone. And the second attack, he hits everybody in a circle, which is a huge circle. Like, you could hit an entire mini wave with it. And then his third attack is a dash. It doesn't do damage. It doesn't silence or anything. But what's interesting about this is after you use the first attack, you can right click, which I have on quick casting. So for me, I right click and you can cancel the ability within 3 seconds. So within those 3 seconds, you can throw basic attacks, and then you can start your second attack, cancel that out, do basic attacks, and then do your third attack. I'll show that off later. But the thing with this, it does 210 damage for both first and second attack, and then the scaling is like 90% right now in the PTS. So it hits really hard. It hits super hard, and then the fact it has a dash as well. It's really nice. He does have high cooldowns at the beginning, but it gets lower and lower as the time goes on. So what this looks like is pretty much, again, I do have quick casting, so the way it kind of functions could be different depending on your casting setting. So for his one, as a cone, it's kind of actually short. And then this is the circle I'm talking about. It's crazy. And then dash. The dash is kind of short. It's not like a Nemesis type dash, but again, he has other movement speed abilities that give him, ways to move around. Next, his Wind Siphon. This doesn't hit too hard, but what this does is allows you to just yank people to you, and it's pretty cool. So it has a cone targeter, very familiar to Nemesis. And the thing about this is, no matter where you hit your target, you're doing 100% of your damage. It's not like the center does the most damage like Nemesis. However, the center marking, this allows you to pull people to you, so you can just, yank them to you. And then again, that's another way to close gaps. He has a lot of gap closing abilities. And next, his Jet Stream. This is kind of interesting. It's a nice mixture of like a Hunbat's teleport, like you throw it out, it does damage, and you can teleport to it. That's kind of like how it is. So just kind of read it real quickly here. He throws a gust of air, which creates a whirlwind, which is really small. It's really silly, but it does tick for 4 times as of right now in the PTS. Anyway, he may activate this ability again to teleport to the whirlwind. This does not go through walls, by the way. And the initial gust will hit an enemy, and the whirlwind surrounds that enemy and travels with them. And then you can teleport to that target. And if you teleport to an enemy with it, it shortens the cooldown by 6 seconds. Again, PTS, it could be lower or higher, but right now 6 seconds, that's pretty huge. At max rank, you only have a 13-second cooldown without cooldown reduction items, so like half of the cooldown is gone if you can teleport to an enemy. The damage is pretty okay, I feel. But just to show, hey, it looks like it's actually pretty long, so you can launch it, and there's a little, it looks like... It's really silly because it's really small, but the actual animations looks really cool. But you can teleport to your target. I should actually buy some cooldown items so I can actually show off these abilities a lot more often. So I'll just go in the Joan draft or something like that. So let's actually teleport to it. As you can see, and it lowers my cooldown by half. And then finally, the ultimate it's pretty insane. Okay, so he summons a hurricane at the location that pulls enemies to it. It doesn't cripple, so it's not like the full whirlpool Kraken effect that Poseidon has, but it does pull people to the center, growing twice in size, and he activates this again to launch a storm in the direction he is facing, so you can kind of maneuver it around, which is also great, and knocking opponents in its path, and it does so much damage. I think it has like a 150% physical power scaling, that little orange number there, so again, it hits really hard. I do have cooldown reduction, so without cooldown reduction items, it's 90 seconds. However, let's just show it off. Look at this targeter, dude. Alright, so it grows in size. and then it's just a huge tornado just knocks him out. So it does a lot of ability damage. So with the way he is right now, you can build him like a lot of physical power, and you could be almost an ability based assassin. But the amount of tools he has to his kit to kind of give him movement speed and close targets and close gaps like that, you definitely build him maybe like a Kali or Boxer, where you have Ken, stone cutting sword, things like that. Because all your abilities brings you closer to your target, and with that, you definitely want to have some type of auto attack type build. So that's how that will be working out. Now he does have this, like, this is where the passive shows for movement speed. It's obviously the same as Nemesis, the icon right now, so I'm sure that would change from going into the PTS. So yeah, so about his one, when I was talking about canceling it, okay, again, quick casting. So you can use his one, I right click, I can do some auto attacks, and then hit left, then hit one again, and then I can right click again, and then left click, and then it's just, of course, I was too slow there, but within the 3 seconds, you can really get good at this, and you can get a lot of damage off all at once. He's kind of bursty with his one, so it's a pretty fast-paced character, I'll say. And then of course the dash, as you see there, it does go through enemies. Now as far as what would you use for like clearing minion waves and things like that, you would definitely go with your one to clear minion waves, just because of that circle is so huge. So I mean, look at this, you can hit an entire wave. And then yes, so you probably wouldn't use your two. Your two does like really low damage and only pulls people to you. As far as your three, it would be interesting if it went through minions, but it actually doesn't. You can hit like the first 3 minions here. So let's go ahead and launch my 3. As you see, it only damages like the first 3, so you wouldn't be using your 3 to clear it. It would just be using your 1, because it's just ridiculous. So you can hit like, you know, the front few minions, and then you can hit the back minions and the entire minions, and then you can dash away. So it's really cool. Now, I feel like he could very well be one of the top tier assassin picks. However, assassins aren't too popular. Just in general, especially in arena. But what's really cool about him, again, he's super fast. He's really he can close gaps, obviously. But the problem with him is that he has, if he fights a really heavy CC team, he's just going to get locked down and just die. He has no CC immunity, so you would have to buy purifications, or else you can get locked down and then you're just going to die. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Could he be played in the solo lane? Very well could be. It just kind of depends on the build. You'd probably have to go breastplate, which I don't know how that would work out for him, but overall he feels really fast paced and a lot of fun, so I highly recommend checking him out. I don't know if he's going to be extremely OP or not, however his 1 would probably get nerfed just a bit. And again, that's pretty much it. Hopefully it was helpful, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.